Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and today we're going to do another page in my dump journal. And I want to do one of these because I learned a lot of lessons from doing the first page. If you look under the playlist dump journal pages on my YouTube, you'll find them. I will, however, put the link to this page in the description box below. Now, I learned quite a few things from doing this, and it was my first time doing it, and I thought, right, I'll quickly run over them now because I don't want to dwell on it because it'll be a long video otherwise. Okay, first of all, I struggled with this just being a plain brown paper, and I inadvertently wanted to turn it into a white page so I could work on it. So I learned that I need to actually collage some bits into the background to give me a starting point. I also learned that I had far too many colours on this page, so I sort of need to limit my palette slightly to maybe 2 or 3 colours, but let's not hold me at that. What else did I learn? I needed some sort of focal point, and I went into this with no idea of what the end result would be. Now, I have said before on other videos, and I totally stand by this, yes, have an end goal in mind, but don't force the process to reach the end goal. Modify, change, alter as you go along. Let your artwork speak to you, and that's what I intend to do. So we're going to do page 2 or another page. Now, since you last saw this, I have cleaned off some brayers and some scraping of art and pieces onto some of these pages. So they've kind of got, I think we did that in the last one. So there's kind of some starts already on here. Is there anything else in here? There might be. Oh, there you go. I was doing a gel print. I'll talk about that in a minute. This was the cover of the second one, which was the cleanup from the first one. And actually, I love that so much. That's probably not even going to be altered because I love it so much. But as you can see, I have put in stuff. I didn't want to do all of the pages, which would have been very easily, because currently I'm working on a rather enormous project that I'm hoping you'll see in maybe June, and then I can launch it, but it does mean I've got to do a heck of a lot of gel prints. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one out, and I'm going to continue to use it as my cleanup one. Okay, so you'll see that, but I will make sure I don't put anything on the front. So I'm just going to flip it over so that's in my eye shot. We're actually going to be working on another page in this one, so this needs to come out. And this is the joy of this. Oh, and if you don't know how I made this, I will share the video to this below as well. I think it might be the first video in that playlist anyway, so loving that. The decoration of it was just me playing around. It wasn't videoed. It was just how I turned this into one of these dump journals. Now, this is what we're working in, but I think I said in the first video that I wanted to play around with other backgrounds because this was made out of brown paper bags. And I did mention music paper, map paper, things like that. So I went ahead and made another insert out of big maps, because goodness knows there's enough big maps around in thrift stores, charity stores, because they do get outdated. I tore my pages into the right sizes, and then what I did is I actually put clear gesso on them. And part of that was, and this was the clear gesso, part of it was because map pages, although they're meant for traveling and opening and closing a lot, they are not as tough as brown paper. And I even clear gessoed the brown paper when I first started this. So I clear gessoed all of these. Also, because they've been folded a lot, I felt this was a weak point. I also felt that there wasn't enough strength in the spine, so that, let me get to the middle. Where's the middle gone? Why can't I see it all? So when I sewed it through, I was scared that it was going to tear the pages. So what I did is I took an extra strip of the map, and on one side, which was the plain side, I glued a strip of it down just to reinforce the spine, as you can see. So then what happens with this insert is I've got a page with a little bit of map on, I've got a page with a whole map on, And then the next page has a little bit of map, whole map, and you get it all the way through this. So once I've finished this one, I will start this one, and then we'll go back to this one. And by this point, I may have made actually a music page one. So just know, I'm playing, guys. I'm absolutely playing. So I wanted to come in with a little more of a game plan this time. Let's lay that out. So I'm going to start, well, we'll start one of my painty pages. I loved this page. It just happened to happen that I was cleaning off stuff from my art journal. Do I want to do it on there? I'm playing around with things like music paper, text paper. I've got this picture of flowers, and the reason this flower picture is here is because I want to use that as part of my focal point. I've also got this that's got green on it, which is the letter B for whatever I want it to be, bird, butterfly, whatever. And I cut out a word as well from a magazine. Now, all of these I've also clear gessoed as well, especially the magazine ones, because I know that they wrinkle up and roll. Should we just go on there? No, let's not go on there because I love that so much. I will probably spoil it. Let's go back to the page I was going to do. So first things first, I want to get some of these elements stuck on here to establish that I've started. Okay, I'm going to use Matte Gel Medium by Amsterdam this time. I usually use, where is it? I usually use this one. I love this product, but I'm falling out of love with this product because sometimes I'll squirt out too much and you can't take the top off and I can't get it back in there. Then I've got to put it in a little jar and then I forget to look at the little jar and then when I go back, it's dried out. So although I love this, Liquitex, please make the lid come off so I can put the excess back in. Because I can't always guarantee how much I need. So this was recommended to me. I bought the heavy bodied and I bought just the general matte medium by Amsterdam. And I've used it a little bit, but actually I am quite loving it. So I'm not going to put the word on first. I'm not going to put the letter on first. And I think I'm going to hang off for a little bit before I put the bird on. But I would like to put some of this on. So music paper, right. And I've chosen music paper because basically birdsong, that's the way I'm going. So I'm thinking this whole spread is going to be like Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, whatever you want to call it. That's going to be my inspiration. I needed a starting point and I felt that Mother Nature, because I absolutely love nature. And I thought, right, let's just start somewhere where I'm familiar. And I think what I'm going to do, well, not what I'm going to do, I am doing, is I'm going to start straight in with stuff that brings me joy. Yeah, it was an interesting doing the first one of these. I must admit, I was a little hesitant when it came round to it to actually post the video because I thought, oh my God, I look like a complete idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. But you know what? I then talked myself around into saying, you know what? The reason I started this channel was I wanted to share my journey with everybody to try and help us, or those of us who don't feel we're good enough. I mean, and when I started off, please, I don't need a whole load of, oh, Ceri, you're fine, whatever. It's lovely, thank you. But when I first started, I knew I was creative. I didn't feel that I had anything to offer. It has changed. I fully agree. I now have something to offer. And I actually now, when someone asks me what I am, I actually tell them I'm a mixed media artist. I will stand up and own that now. And that's all thanks to, yeah, we'll put that rubber there. And that's all thanks to people like yourselves who have come on and helped me and given me confidence to actually see that I do have something to offer the world. And I know I have something to offer the world now. So the whole reason I wanted to start this dump journal was not to show perfect art pieces. Like, I mean, I watch some extraordinary artists on YouTube. They pull out a book like this, they go bang, 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 stick a few things on. I look at that and go, how the heck did they do that? I watched them do it and I still don't know how they did it. So I just wanted to be honest about this, which is why I left the first one out there. Right. Let's just... you may have noticed already that I'm sort of falling into threes. I will also fall into balance because I think what I was doing when I did the first page is I was kind of trying to do what's normally expected. And I kind of forgot that, Ceri, you can do it. Again, it was a confidence thing. I mean, I do collage. As you know, I do collage. Goodness knows I do collage. So just having a thoughtful moment. Yes, there's no harm putting that up there because there's going to be paints and everything involved. I have no idea. So I might move it down a bit. I have no idea what's going where. So, right. I just want to show you something in a minute. So, yes, I was struggling because I was trying to be what I thought a person doing this should be. Just go wrap my paintbrush in that and seal up my gesso until I need it later on, which was a big mistake. I needed to try and be true to myself. Now, what's helping me now is I'm thinking along the lines, okay, I have this journal, which none of you have seen, and you're not going to see all the way through it at this moment, but I do stuff like this. I do collage stuff. Let's see if I can find another one that's complete. There's another one. So knowing that I can do this has reminded me that I can do this. I just need to think a little bit more outside the box. And yes, when this is full or as finished as I'm happy for it to be, I will share it with you. But I do think that I need some private journal space, and I do private journal space. Oh, I forgot. I pulled these out too that I had. These were texture paste onto gift wrap tissue paper, and this was for another project. And I found this had wings in it, so there may be wings on here as well. I also pulled out this, which is Little Leaves, which is a PM Artist Studio stencil by myself, or mask, whichever way you're using it. I'll put a link to this in the description box below. So you're probably going to see that used as well. I've got a better game plan is what I'm trying to get at. Right, let's put that out of the way. I am going to do some of the things I did before. I'm going to pull in some white gesso because I want to come in and good old finger painting time again. I just want to get some of these edges blended. And something I did, which I said I did, was I felt the brown paper had to be completely concealed. Of course it didn't. That was just me being a numpty. So this time I'm like, okay, Ceri, less is more. So I don't want it over the flower. So I am going to use a bit of white, but it's not all going to be white. I'm okay with leaving the brown paper bag showing. You heard it here, folks. I'm okay with that. Says he going to town with the white gesso. But you know what? I feel it needs it. It will go on. Again, using my gut, using my gut, using my gut. Just trusting the process. And I think that was the only thing that got me through doing the last page, was trusting the process to the point of going, it'll work. It will work. I just need to believe it'll work and not giving up too early. So I want a little bit of white up here because I think this is where my bird is probably going to reside. I'll sort of get rid of that very, very straight line there. So let's put this by. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of kitchen towel. And by kitchen towel, I mean this stuff, the paper. And I'm going to press it on here and pull it off. I'm doing that because I know that it will leave some semblance of texture behind. It's not going to be massive texture, but it is going to be texture. Sorry if I'm wriggling you around. But as you can see, it's left something on there. Right, okay, that's a first layer. Now, where do I want to go next? I I think now I need to think, what colors am I going to use? So this is the piece that I'm building all of this around. So I've got browns, I've got sort of a salmon terracotta type color, I've got pinks, I've got whites, and I've got green. So let's see if I've got anything near those. Well, I've got a pink, that's a given. I've got this sort of peach pink it's called, which sort of is almost between those. Now I've got this colour, which is olive green, which isn't exactly this colour, but I think with a little bit of white that will work. Now I didn't bring in any terracotta, and I didn't bring in purple, but I think that will do. And I think let's err on the side of leaving the browns away from this, purely because I know that I'm going to come in afterwards with maybe some of those Tim Holtz marker pens, the ones that are like water soluble. So I want to come in now, I want to add some of this now. I know that when I create art pieces and gel prints and stuff like that, I automatically start with light to dark. And sometimes I reverse it. It's not a rule of thumb, but sometimes I forget about that. And I think this is a prime opportunity for me to actually remind myself that light to dark is a good option. So I'm just going to come in, again, a bit of fingerprint painting. I will start to bring in brushes or mark making tools in a little bit, because some of these colours need to be added as marks and not background, or else I'm going to fall into the trap I had before, and I'm going to obliterate the brown in the background. And if we think of it, the brown of the bag could represent the bird. Right. Oh, I meant to make a list of people that I've watched inspire me to do this, and I've completely forgotten to do it. Sorry, guys. There's just so much going on of late, and it's a good thing. I mean, I'd much rather be busy than sit on my butt doing nothing. So, right. A little bit around the edge of that as well. What's that bit there and that bit there? Right, so that gives me that sort of peachiness. Now I'll keep the paint over here to one side. Right, I now want to come in. I'm not sure I'm going to be needing this, but I might. So just put it up there. Hopefully, yeah, just put it out of your eyesight so it's not distracting. Right, I want to come in and I want to put some sort of visual something in there. Right, I'm going to use this texture mat. You're bound to have seen it. It's just a piece of corrugated packing. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to put some of this pink down. Oh, that pink looks very pale. I think I might need to add a bit of magenta or something to that. Actually, there's some plum purple. Let's just add a little bit of plum purple. Just to meter that up a little bit. And can you see me? No, you can't. Let's put you by there. Right, I'm just going to come in. So I'm not using a gel plate. I'm just braying it onto there. I'm going to come in, pick this up a bit, lay it down. See, I just want subtlety. It's all about not covering everything else up. And again, yes, I know I've gone for threes. It's me, I do threes. Actually, that's 1, 2. I think I want just a little bit of it down here on the edge of there. That wasn't enough. Right, let's see if I can just flick the brayer a bit. Actually, that's quite a good idea. Let's just give the brayer a bit of a flick around the page. Okay, that's all right. Right, I've got this on here, so let's just pop that right in the middle. Hopefully I'm not shaking you. I don't mean to give a bit of squish around on there. Just clean up some of this off here. It didn't lift off as much as I was hoping. Oh, there you go. I needed to put some elbow grease behind it. Right, let's just clean up my brayer. Right, that needs cleaning up. Just got a bit of the kitchen towel that I was using. Doesn't have to be gone completely, just need the most of it off there. Right, so liking where that's gone. I've done the pink. Now, these little flowers are round. And I think I want to do the next bit first before I use it. So I think my next stage is I'm going to use this stencil mask. The term stencil or mask is determined by how you use it, not what it is. That's my personal interpretation. So this isn't a 5x7. What is this? I haven't got a ruler close. This isn't a 5x7. I can tell you that 5x7's about this big. I'll have to repackage them and see which one is which. Anyway, so I'm going to use this stencil and I'm going to come in, and this is where I'm going to use this green. Now, what I want to do is, this is the white I've got, which explodes on me every time I use it because I'm trying to get the very last bit out of here. So I am not going to waste that paint. And I do know that I need to lighten this olive up a bit to be closer to the colour that we're looking for in the bird. Now, am I going to be able to match things perfectly? No. Is it my intent to match things perfectly? Absolutely not. I'm not putting myself through that. I will do my best, but I'm not going to do it completely. Right, so I want patches of this. Just use this, just a sponge, again from packaging. I'm going to pick up the green. Can you see me? You can. Picking up the green and the white until I've got roughly a blend of the colour that I want. So I've dabbed it on the sponge and I'm going to hold this down and I'm going to put it through my stencil. Now I'm trying to alter the colour slightly as I go. So by dabbing alternately into the white and then into the darker colour, I will end up with kind of a shading on the leaves I'm leaving behind. Now, I'm unsure at this point, see, that's lovely there. I'm unsure at this point whether I may just come in and doodle the leaf outlines after I finish this all, but it'll really depend on how it turns out and how I feel that it's turning out, whether I make that decision or not. And I think I want a piece down here because it's just crying out for something down here. And I quite like the idea of it being over the bottom of that page with the flower on it. Is that going up far enough? I just want to let it creep up the side of the page a bit and over. Okay. Happy with that. That's special. Actually, I've got this out. Let's just, if I've got a page with any green on it, actually that might be a good page. Let's just come in now. Do excuse me while I indulge myself in just using up some paint. But you know what? Just like the rest of us, I am not going to spend money unless I absolutely have to when I've already got the supply here. That's nice. I like that. This olive and white gives a really nice colour. I'll have to remember that. Okay, I will keep my sponge around and I'll keep this around just in case I want to, once I'm getting close to the end, add another layer on top of this one. So let's put this to one side. Right, where's that bit of kitchen towel gone? I don't know where it's gone. I'm going to grab a new one. So just clean this off a bit. Right, now I'm going to come in, I think, with the lilac. Remember, I wanted to bring in that lilac, and I'm beginning to wonder whether it needs to be a bit darker than that. Let's see what the colour is in real life. This is very delicate. It's supposed to be very delicate, right? Okay, we're going to do this, and I'm going to go to about bubble wrap because I like the little round flowers that are in there. And I know it's probably going to be on my gravestone. Ceri liked bubble wrap. It's just, I like the fact that it's free. I like the fact that it's accessible to nearly everybody. And I like the fact that it gives me a pattern that's unpredictable. So I'm just going to use this door key. That's a bit granular, isn't it? That might probably work itself out. I'm going to pop this in here, and I'm going to come into the areas that I think could do with a little bit of enhancement. I'll put some up in there. Right, don't overdo it, Griffiths, don't overdo it. A little bit down by there would make me happy. Right, I'll just bring in my other book, or the other insert, and just, because I like these colours together, so. Basically having a good old clean up. And I think what I'm going to do is I've decided I'm probably going to make all of the pages in this dump journal will always become videos, because you seem to enjoy them. I like the commitment I have to make to actually do them. There's a big old lump of purple in there. I'd rather that didn't get stuck in the spine. So right, so this is another layer being done. Let's bring this back in. So where are we up to? So I think at this point, I should possibly think about putting the pieces on that need to go on at this point before I start doing almost the final pieces. That took me a lot less time than I thought it would take. I do want to come in and do a bit of pen work, and I do want to come in and add some accent pieces. And as I said, I'll probably use those Tim Holtz pencils as well, or crayons. This seems too blocky here. I think I just need to bring the white in. Actually, it's just feeling a bit, I don't know. Gut instinct, guys, gut instinct. So like a little bit more down here just to lighten that up a bit. Along the top. I think that'll do. Says he adding one more piece at the top. Okay, I think I'm going to pause you for 2 seconds. For me, it'll be about 5 minutes, I should imagine, because I'm going to get the hairdryer on this, because in all honesty, I am not going to be able to do much with this wet. I'm not even going to be able to stick stuff down, because if I do put gel medium on, it's going to move anything that's wet. So bear with me, guys. I'll be back in 2. I think it's time I kind of added the pieces. Now, artist to me is going to be Mother Nature. I have a bee, and this in my mind has always belonged up there. Does it belong in there? Is that too predictable? That might not be predictable. Right, just having a bit of an audition session here. I feel this area needs something, and I don't think it's that. I wonder. Give me a second. Right, a few days ago, I made a video of how I make my paper butterflies. And I make them out of gel prints, and I make them out of book pages, music pages. And I think if I put a row of butterflies down there, Darcy, look away, because I know you don't like things that might eat other things. Right, that's too big. Let's see if I can find a couple in here that would actually appeal to me. Well, there's one with pink for a start. I was thinking more this size, to be honest. Can you see? You can see. See, I quite like that colour though. I wonder whether I should go with the smaller ones. Those might dominate. Right, let's get rid of those. Let's go back to these. Now I know I do 3 down a page very often. Right, would that be the wrong colour? Actually, which of these do I like the best? Decisions, decisions, people. Decisions, decisions. Well, that's a bit brighter. Right. I think I like that kind of something, but something is missing here. Oh, I know. We've got the wings, haven't we? If the wings went in, I don't mind that down there. This is bothering me because it's a big expanse of something. Now, I did have this. Actually, if that does go in there, and that goes up there, that gives me a balance. I wonder if I do the vertical down here, that balances that. I like that if I put that close to this side. I'm not sure whether the B is needed. I think the B may be, no pun intended, I think the B may be one step too far. So let's leave that out of this. Right, let's see if I can get some of this down without destroying it. And then once things are on here, I will know better then. Right, so I'm coming back in with this medium. And I think I'm going to put these down first, because these are the thing. These wings are the things I'm actually procrastinating a little bit about. And I think once they're down, I would then have to commit to them. Now these were, what were they? They were gold stencil butter through a stencil by Paula Keane, a PM Artist Studio. If I remember, which I should do, I will go in and put the link in the description box below to these. It was a set of smaller stencils, so this was only part of that stencil set. So I'm tapping it up and down, just trying to make sure that the tissue is fully in contact with what's below. Now, because the matte gel medium will dry clear, this will not be as clouded, should I say. The surface here, where the gold is, I know I will have lost the shininess of that gold, because that's just the nature of matte gel medium. It's matte. The name gives you the clue. So I'm going to pop this across the top of here. And again, I think these were all done on, if I'm correct, they were done on gift tissue, not wet strength tissue. So I'm being a little bit cautious. But by doing them on gift tissue, it means that the tissue should go almost transparent, if not completely transparent, as it dries. The only thing you have to be aware of, as I'm finding out there, as soon as you hit it with moisture, it's going to start to dissolve. Right. This needs to come in here. I think although it's central-ish, it doesn't need to be completely central. There's a little bit of something stuck there. What is that? Right. I'm not keen on, there's a little word there, so I may have to do some pen work or something on there. Or I did say I may add the leaves over afterwards. Right. Do these feel right? I am liking them there, so I'm going to put them there. I will put a link to the butterfly tutorial I did in the description box as well, guys. I know I seem to be putting a lot in the description box, but it's easier to do that than when you come to do a comment and you ask me for it anyway. So it's just better for me to put it down. And then I know that you know where it is. And I can always say, check the description box, it's in there. Well, way too much match our medium on there. So let's just give that a bit of a brush. Now these ones here were made with a brayer off sheet from gel printing. I'm just coming in from every direction, trying to make sure there's a little bit of a build-up of matte gel medium under each edge, and then just gently, I'm hardly holding it, over the top, just to take away the excess. Right, you need to be straight. Bear with me while I pull this a little bit further towards me. Right, fingers crossed. I'm not the world's best at putting things straight onto a page. I mean straight as in horizontal. Right, before it starts to, bear with me, I just need to, because of course I'm looking through an iPad and you guys are looking directly at it. Right, let's just stick that sucker down. Remember, everything I'm gluing on has had a coating of clear gesso which has been put on and fully dried, which is why it's not wrinkling up. Okay, I'm kind of liking that so far. Right, let's get that under the cloth again. Try to wipe off any excess back into the pot, because goodness knows I'm not wasting this. Yeah, this stuff is good, but it's certainly not cheap. So this is going to get wrapped in my cloth again. So where am I up to? Now, do I need to hit this with a hairdryer again? Possibly. So there we are. It's as dry as I think it needs to be for the next stage. So it's not got drama yet, and I know that for a start. This feels a little vacant down here, and this looks a little dull up here. I think I want to come in with something pale. And no, we're not going back to the white pages again. I'm just thinking I need something pale. I'm going to see whether I can get this pink, which is really quite pale, and just add a little bit of something into areas. Just gut feeling, as I said before, guys, gut feeling. It just feels like it needs a little something to lift these areas. I am beginning to wonder whether I should be stamping some text into this. I mean, I didn't on my last one. It's probably because I wasn't aware that I wasn't thinking. Let's just put it that way. A little bit more in there. Right. Do I want to stamp anything? If I was going to stamp, I would stamp in black. And this does feel like it needs a little kick in the drama department. This also feels a little bit lost down here, as if it's a second thought. And I think it's this expanse here. I mean, I don't have a lot left that could go in. I've got a star. I've got a couple of dots. Right, what do I want to do? I do feel it needs black, but I think it needs black last. So let's pull in a pot of water. I always keep water in the jar with the lid on it because you have no idea how often I knock things over. So I'm keeping the jar over there just out of my way. I'm going to grab myself a paintbrush, no real size, just a paintbrush, and I'm going to come in and do some bits. So what colour is this? Gathered twigs. Right, let me turn this around this way. I'm just going to, oh, it's a bit battered, isn't it? Guess I like that one. I'm just going to come in around this because it's kind of important. I'm not good at this bit, guys. This is where I struggle, but this is why I'm doing this, to try and learn. Just to reactivate that a little bit and bleed it out. Reactivate that down there. The trouble is with these, what I don't like about them is they can be activated time and time again. Or that's my experience of them, unless I'm supposed to do something with them, like heat seal them or something. I'm not sure. Right. So lay a piece of this over here just to take off any excess. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, that's kind of what I was looking for. Kind of like that to blend out just a little bit more. Right, another bit of a touch in the middle there. Right, okay with that. Now, do I want that anywhere else? I kind of do. But I don't want to do the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is just do a little bit on this edge. And maybe just a little bit by there, just to frame this out. I'm going to take that up a little bit. It might go over that piece that I didn't really want. That word there, I can kind of covered it up now, which is okay. Just blend this corner out a bit. So I know I've gone a bit quiet, but this is kind of, this is the sort of thing, I don't want to say I stress about, but this is the sort of thing that sort of makes me a little worried. Right, tea dye. I'm not even sure what colour this is. Actually, that's almost that colour, isn't it? Gosh, why don't you turn? There you go. Let's see if I can just do a little bit of that along there. Yeah, I bought these when they first came out, and I must have used them about 3 times. And I think it's because I was swept up in the whole thing of, oh, those are fabulous, what a great idea. But then because they didn't really fit in with how I normally work, I kind of just lost sight of them. And of course, what did I do? I put them under my work desk in a basket, and yep, you're right, I forgot about them. Okay, I'm feeling that's getting better. This down here annoys me. Right, what colours have I got? I've got pink. Maybe if I just put, this could be a mistake. Just get some pink on there. Okay, that's not that bad. That was probably not exactly what I had in mind, but you know what? It takes away the starkness of it. And actually, I might add a bit more of that down here as well. Okay, that's better. That's better. How common is that? Better. Learn to speak English, Griffiths. I like that so much I might make a feature of it over there. Okay, that's kind of good. This still bothers me greatly, and this bothers me. And I'm not 100% certain what to do with it. I think I want to come in with some deep purple, like almost this purple. Right, this could be a mistake. But you know what? Live dangerously. I do have a habit of framing stuff, and I know that. It's just part of who I am. I like to underline things. I like to put frames around stuff. I remember once, and I may have told you this before, but I'll tell you again because I can. When I was in school, my art teacher actually contacted my mother at one point because she had concerns that everything I drew had to have a black line around it. I'm sure it was a sign of something, but no one spotted it. But to be honest with you, I was okay with that. Maybe it was my first initial steps into doing doodling or something. I don't know. It was a weird, there's something that stuck in my mind that I did used to do that. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. Well, I wasn't planning on putting A there, but I guess my dirty finger did. I wonder, I've got an idea. That's sort of going closer to the goalpost, let's put it that way. Right, this is just being ignored, so I'm going to have to do something here, even if it is just shading something in. I'm so tempted to put a Tim Holtz figure there, but I'm not going to because that's way too predictable. So here we are back. Hopefully it's dry enough for my pen to go over the top. When I was drying this, I decided that this and this were a bit too stark. So I took just a little bit of white gesso on my finger and just calmed it down a bit so that it wasn't the dominant feature. Right, a couple of things I need to do is I've got a 0.3 micron, and I'm going to come in and give each of my butterflies little antennae, because even when I fussy cut, I don't fussy cut antennae. I draw them in afterwards. I can't be fussy cutting that. It's too small. And then I've got a sepia micron pen, 0.5, and I'm going to do, this makes me a bit anxious to be honest, I'm going to do some fake writing as if they're notes in a journal. And I think those will fill up certain areas of this. So I could have stamped it, but you know what is a challenge for me in stamping? I want to do something different. So I'm going to come in. So this could look awful, but I think it's going to be okay. There you go. I sort of do odd numbers of lines if I ever do this, which I do, obviously. And it is absolutely just me squiggling a pen, but the eye will want to make it into something. So when you look at it, it looks like writing, but actually it's not writing. Right, this will need something, but that's fine. I've got plans for that. This I think it needs, because I don't like that blank space there, so. This needs some up here. Not a lot, because I'm using brown or sepia at the moment because I want to finish this off with some black. If your pen starts to stop, I'm just using a damp wet wipe and then that hopefully to clear any paint off the nib. I think that's okay. Right. So, before I go any further, I'm very tempted to come in and outline some of these leaves, but I think if I do a part, then I'll want to do all of it, and I think all of it will be the wrong thing. I am going to run a black line around this, so actually if I do 2 lines around it, that'll cover up my shaky line work. I like to frame things. I think we've already just discussed that, but I like to frame things. I am taking the risk, mind you guys, doing this because you should really honestly let everything dry completely before you try and use a marker on it. Especially I found if it's something with a rollerball end to it, because it'll just seize up and it'll never work again. And you don't want that. That's just a little bit of something around there. I don't want to outline that. Or do I? Yes, I do. And apparently, I don't want to over-labor it, but you know, the thing about 3s, it's more pleasing to the eye. I'm still not happy with this area down here. I'd like something in there that wasn't obvious, but maybe I'll just put some writing in there, shall we? Maybe that'll do. Okay, right, now I want to come in and I want to put these pens away before I forget about them. I think what I want to do is I want to come in with some black now. And I'm talking black paint. And what I want to do is, you know that fine mesh I've got? This fine mesh. I think I want to put areas of it just to frame this. It's, to me, it's just calling for black. And I'm used to using my gut instinct, and I think that's what I'm going to continue to use. So I'm just using Mars Black acrylic. Don't need a huge amount because I don't want to be having to use up loads and loads again. I'm going to take my store card or membership card, whatever. I'm just going to smear that out a bit. And then I can come in and I can pick it up. And pop it down areas. As I said, I'm not looking for perfect anything, but I like the idea of following through with the design around around the edges. This also is where I could probably do a little bit more in there. There's some on there as well. Well, I must admit I have found this one a lot less stressful than I felt the first page go. And I'm glad I listened to my instincts, and I'm glad I learnt my lessons, because I have picked up things from watching my own video, so I learned something about myself, but also the fact that I came in and I laid down a background. Now, I'd quite like a piece in there, but I don't want it so uniform. A little bit up there. And I think a little bit more by there if I can get it to do it. Yes, right, let's put that by. I think we're finished. I will deal with this when the camera stops rolling, guys, because it's not a million miles off me finishing. I think that was a far better job than I did last time. Far better job than I did last time. So, oh, need to sign it. I will get slaughtered if I don't sign it. So I've always been taught to sign my work, and there happens to be a nice little spot there. I don't date it because you can watch the video, you know when I did it. So, right, thank you guys. I enjoyed that. As I said, I'm going to try and do every single page going forward in my dump journal. My dump art journal is going to be done as a video, because I like these. You seem to like these. And when I look at that page and I look at that page, they are majorly different, but each is valid in its own self. So, thank you guys. It was just grab my little sign. And here we go. I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Until next time, goodbye now.